begin this March 5th edition of CNN Student News, we're heading to the African nation of Kenya. It's home to about 43 million people. Kenya's government is a republic where the citizens elect their leaders, and that's what they did yesterday.
This comes after a new constitution was passed in 2010 and is the most complex election in Kenya's history. People will be voting for member of county assembly, governor, senator, woman's member of National Assembly, member of National Assembly, and finally president.
Part of the reason why Kenya's constitution changed was the violence that followed the country's last presidential election. The results were challenged. Supporters of different candidates fought each other. More than 1,200 people were killed. The changes to the country's government were designed to make future elections more peaceful.
People have been turning out to vote at the polling stations like this one in the port city of Mombasa since before 6 a.m. in the morning when the polling stations opened. Some places we've visited have had lines half a mile long, and that's despite fears of a possibility of tribal violence.
There were some reports of violence during yesterday's voting. Bombs exploded at 2 polling stations. There was a stampede at another voting site, and some police officers were attacked. Some Kenyans were preparing for this kind of thing before the election, and they were planning to use social media to help reduce the violence on Election Day. Naam El-Bahr explains how.
During the violence that marred the 2007 elections here, citizen journalists were crucial in helping to pinpoint the worst affected areas, and none more so than ushahidi, which means witness in Swahili. You now have been working on different ways to ensure that this election is transparent.
What you see here is a team full of digital humanitarians, the people that deal with the data that we get into the system. Uchaguzi is the Swahili word for elections, and so is the name of the platform that we've deployed for this election. We have partners, across the country sending us information, but also verifying the information that we get. And the second tool that we use is the technology platform at uchaguzi.co.ke and the various apps that go along with it.
Because the apps are really cool. You've actually got one on your phone right here. And so people go online and they download the app, and then anywhere in the country, if they see something that they have concern about, they just go onto the app and report it, or they tweet it, or they take a picture, and it reaches you immediately.
You have the power in your hands to protect your vote, and that's what we're doing as ordinary citizens, working together to protect our vote and our electoral process.
Is this legit? Women with HIV can pass the virus to their children during pregnancy. This is true. Infected mothers can infect their babies during pregnancy, delivery, or nursing.
HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. It affects the body's immune system and it can lead to AIDS. There's not an official cure, but researchers say a 2-year-old girl from this Mississippi hospital is the first child to be functionally cured of HIV. It's an important difference. Functionally cured doesn't mean the virus is gone completely. It means that its presence is so small that standard tests can't find it, and the patient doesn't need lifelong treatment. Here's how this happened. The baby's mother has HIV. Within 30 hours of the birth, doctors started treating the baby for HIV. The baby was on HIV drugs for about 15 months. Then, for whatever reason, the mother stopped giving the baby the drugs. She was off them for 8 to 10 months. When doctors saw her next, no signs of HIV. She was functionally cured.
That's still a possibility, and we're going to be following the baby for a while to make sure that virus does not come back. However, at this point, she's been off of medicines for quite a long time and still has no return of virus. And this is unique. We've not seen this in other cases before.
Today's shout out goes out to Miss Jager's U.S. government class at Spring Valley High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. Which of these prefixes is a Latin word that means field? Here we go. Is it tapa, agri, pharma, or tira? You've got 3 seconds. Go. Agri is Latin for field, and agriculture is the culture of the field, like raising crops or livestock. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
A huge amount of the food that the world produces, up to half of it in some places, is wasted. And this is what we mean by that. What you didn't finish from your meal at a restaurant and don't take home to eat is thrown out. It's wasted. When you buy food at the store but wind up trashing some of it later, wasted. When grocery stores don't sell all the fruits and vegetables they have in time, or if they won't accept farm produce that doesn't look fresh but actually might be, that can go to waste. It's a problem worldwide, but there are some solutions to it. One is not buying more food than you can eat or share. CNN's Aaron McLaughlin found another at a store in England.
Vegetables lie rotting in an English field. It's not bad weather that's done it. It's not insects or pests that have made it inedible. The farmers in charge of this field say they had to reject all of this cabbage because it didn't look right.
Here we have, look at that. A couple of weeks ago, that was a beautiful head of broccoli. Lovely sprouting broccoli. It's one of my favourite vegetables. And as you can see, we have half an acre of rotten broccoli here. It breaks my heart.
Tristram Stewart and his team collect food that would otherwise go to waste. They're here to salvage what's left of the cabbages.
You can see these outer leaves have been pecked by pigeons. That means that the supermarkets don't want them, even though no one eats these outer leaves, and the heart of this cabbage is perfectly good, fresh, delicious, nutritious food.
According to a new study, up to 30% of the UK's vegetable crop never leaves the field as a result of such practices. But it doesn't have to be this way. Here at the People's Supermarket in central London, Chef Arthur Potts Dawson sees beyond imperfection. The People's Supermarket accepts produce from the field that would have otherwise gone to waste.
Well, we actively went out and sought it. You know, we really looked for it. I'd go into the field and they'd be, you know, pulling out tons and tons and tons of potatoes every hour, but there was a byproduct, about 30% of it misshapen, you know, a little bit crushed. It was just discarded. I said, well, what are you doing with those? And they said, no, you want them? I said, no, I don't just want them. I will pay you for them.
The result? A colorful array of vegetables, imperfect avocado, kale, and artichoke. How has the consumer responded? Do people come in here? Do they notice some of these imperfections? And do they buy?
People have already been trained by decades of supermarkets now to only, you know, buy the perfect, you know, the perfect leek, okay? But the unperfect leek, if they don't buy it, I'll take it.
And they practice what they preach here. There's a full kitchen at the back of the supermarket, complete with a chef who uses the produce customers don't buy to create ready-made meals to be sold in store. Proof that looks don't necessarily matter when it comes to making delicious food. Aaron McLaughlin, CNN, London.
New report from Facebook says that teenagers may be getting sick of Facebook and heading to other social media apps and sites. What do you think about this idea of Facebook fatigue? If you're still on Facebook, talk to us about it at facebook.com/CNN Student News. Joseph Brunell is an 8th grader at Vickery Creek Middle School in Forsyth County, Georgia. He loves basketball, but Joseph has a medical condition called spina bifida. It restricts him to a wheelchair, so he can't play on the Vickery Creek team. At least that was true until one recent game.
It's going to be a great surprise. It's going to be all about Joseph Brunell.
For the fourth quarter, they gave Joseph a jersey and brought the game to him. Players from both teams had been secretly practicing in wheelchairs so they could make Joseph part of this game. One of his teammates said they did this for Joseph because of what he's taught them.
We learned to never give up and to always try our best in everything we do.
Fantastic story. It's March. We may be a little early for the madness, but this next video makes a great warm-up. High school section championship. The team inbounding the ball is down 2 with 3 seconds to go. Cross-court pass, stolen, ball thrown in the air to run out the clock, but the guy who threw the inbounds pass gets his hands on it and heaves up a desperation shot. Makes it. 55-foot shot at the buzzer. Watch it play out in real time.
Tosses it. It's knocked around, and Mount Vernon's going to hold on and win. So hold on 1 second. Oh, goodness! Are they going to count that? No, it doesn't count.
A last-second shot that nets a ton of attention. That was definitely a buzzer beater. Teachers, your feedback, our homepage, perfect match. Let us know what you thought about today's show, and we'll meet you back here tomorrow for more CNN Student News.